Hello, what's up guys? Welcome back to my name's Starscream and welcome back to another Forza Horizon 5 video. So, recently I've been doing a bunch of playing around with a lot of muscle cars because those are my favorite types of cars. Like my dream car is a 2011 Ford Mustang GT. My second favorite car is a C6 Corvette, and I love those cars. But I realized they've been handling really poorly, and certain other cars like the Honda S2K that I've been playing around with, the Toyota MR2, which I literally just got and really haven't played around with that much, are actually amazing. So I'm going to run a little bit of an experiment. I am going to have one car with low horsepower and that's very light against a car with high horsepower that's very heavy. Also, I am actually going to also they are both going to be in A class. And so I have this to 1989 Toyota MR2 SC that I have already tuned. I really haven't played around with that much. But on the other end, for our high horsepower, high weight, I'm going to have this 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. 1,015 horsepower, but 4,406 pounds. Very, very heavy. Our car is 300 horsepower, but half the weight. So what I'm going to do is, number one, I'm going to join the drag event for both cars, and I'm going to see which one is better on the drag strip. So I'm going to be starting with the SRT Hellcat here. So we're going to see. So I'm going to do a series of challenges. What has the best drag strip speed? And then I'm going to do a street race to see which one has the best like race performance. I'm also going to do a speed zone and a speed trap, because the speed zone will allow me to get more of the handling side of things, and speed zone, a trap, will allow me to get more of the speed side of things. Now another thing is this car does have sport tire compound, because if I didn't put sport tire compound on it, it would not be fat. It would not have enough horsepower to be able to, actually like be a functional car. That was an extremely bad launch, but I'm definitely gaining on these people. Alright, we're already past them. So the launch kinda sucked, so I will give it that. But I was able to very easily pass everyone at the end. Although we were all using the same, me and all the driver tars are using the same car. So 19.9 seconds. That's our time to beat to the MR2. Festival drag strip.
Let's go!
Alright, instantly outshining a lot of the competition. We are kind of getting beat out by this one other car over here. I'm not entirely sure what that is. There are some guys who can look at cars and just be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that car is. Alright. What do we get? Finish second. 20.4 seconds. So even with the bad launch that we got on the Challenger, we still had a much worse drag time for the MR2 SC. So Dodge Challenger gets 1 point, but the MR2 right now has 0 points. Our next order of business is I'm going to try to find a street race, and then we're going to join that particular street race. The reason why I'm doing a street race instead of a road race is because road races are the class, but also the car type that you're rocking. The The street races, however, only care about your performance class. So you could be in a 1990s MR2 while facing off against, like, I don't know, a Lotus or a Mercedes, like a modern Lotus or Mercedes. So that's what we're going to be doing is the street race. Street race, enter event, solo, current car. Keep in mind that these are both road tuned for road/street racing. This meaning I'm not going to be doing like rally racing or drift zones in these. Oh, there's actually another Dodge Challenger over here. Alright, let's see, which is better, Dodge Challenger or MR2? Alright, kind of like... My theory is that I'll lose in the straights, but I'll beat him in the corners. Yep, see? Alright. That's just a bot. We need to see, like, with actual real people, with one actual real person with one skill level. Ah! Turns out my skill level is very low. Also, I find it funny that I already have like 60 hours in this game after having it for like a week and a little less than 2 weeks. A little more than 2 weeks. But in all of my time owning Forza Horizon 4, which I had for like, I don't know, a year, I only got like 100 hours. Well, to be fair, I did have a logging point where it was completely glitched out and I couldn't even start the dang game. Alright, we're about to overtake this guy. And overtaken. Boom. I did also have an I also did have an achievement to beat a street race in any Japanese car, and since Toyota is a Japanese brand, I'm pretty sure I will qualify for that achievement. Well, not achievement, it was a Forzathon weekly quest. Kind of get confused because I'm like, do they still call it Forzathon? Oh, I money shifted a little bit and I got a nice drift. That was kind of to be expected as Japanese cars are drift cars. Ah! Bad gear shift. Waited a bit too long. Also, I am on keyboard because my controller broke. And since my PC's super old, I was not able to connect any of my Bluetooth Nintendo Switch controllers. Yeah, I don't have an Xbox controller. I was using Switch the whole time. Alright. Time to overtake this guy. And boom. Alright. Smacked him. Alright. Looking pretty good for me so far. Alright. Break. Alright, remember, whenever you win a race, always end it off in a drift. And that is one clean looking power slide. Sorry, not drift, power slide. That's what I mean. Got it. First place. Okay. That is how well the MR2 did. Alright, that was an honest glitch. I pressed the button, but it did not shift. Whoa. Yup, this is what I've been talking about. Every time I try out a muscle car and I turn like at all without missed a checkpoint. Without decelerating down to first, I end up completely understeering or drifting. Yeah, see. So overall, the Challenger is driving much worse. See, and then this crazy guy tries to pit maneuver me into the off-road. I was already in like 4th in the MR2, but now I'm in like, yeah, see, I end up wheel spinning and then redlining. See, it just understeers to insanity. Heck, there's even what appears to be a Toyota MR2 right behind me. Oh no, it's not. I am not entirely. I think that's a Ferrari of some sort. Ah. Yeah, this driving experience is absolutely horrible. And if someone is saying, "Oh, well, just put the Forza arrow on it," I'm not putting freaking Forza arrow on a beautiful car. I know, like, it's warranted because, like, the horsepower and all that stuff, but Forza arrow looks hideous. Seriously, they should literally just put a sandbag and trunk option that gives me like plus 100 pounds of weight, but still like actually allows the car to handle because of the rear weight. The weight in the rear. This car is 100% not going to get that point. And see, it just ends up understeering to insanity, which leads to me ending up in the off-road. And I can't even shift properly because as soon as the wheel starts spinning super quickly and it starts drifting, when it starts drifting, it redlines. And then when it redlines, it tells me, hey, you gotta shift. But when I'm like in sixth gear. #12th place. Alright, MR2 gets 1 point, and Dodge Challenger stays at 1 point. So right now they're both tied, but this race got the Challenger 0 lousy points. Moving on to a speed zone now. Alright. Alright. Okay. Failed. Alright, that was actually a full-on DNF. For those of you who are wondering, DNF stands for did not finish. Honestly, I think that could warrant a -1 point. I'm not gonna do that. Let's keep it at just 0. You get 0 points. Now, because the Challenger got a nice start, which was like 60 miles per hour. It was about this distance, so let's recreate that with MR2. And both of these cars have a positive displacement supercharger, mind you. And boom, entry. I already know the MR2 is going to get the point over the Challenger because the Challenger full on DNF'd. But still, it'll do that. Boom, 115 miles per hour. That's A class, so not too bad. So Toyota MR2 is up to now to 2 points. No, 3. Yeah, 2 points. Challenger still stuck at 1. 1 lousy point. Doing the MR2. That guy just almost caused a car pile up. And both of these cars have 6-speed manual transmissions. Alright, and we got what that was. I'm not entirely sure how much that was. I think that was like 160 miles per hour. Let's just say 160 miles per hour. Let's do it some launch control. Alright, 4th gear. Alright, so I think that the Dodge Challenger is going to beat the MR2 here. Yeah. Unless it like completely drifts off into the void. Which it just did. That is surprising. Dodge Challenger lost in straight line, well, mostly straight line speed with a bit of handling. So, Toyota MR2, 3 points. For the Dodge Challenger, with 1 lousy point. Now, just for the fun of it, I know this car isn't drift tuned, but you know what? We're doing a drift zone with these cars. Some people say they are the Goosiest, who is a much better YouTuber and Forza Horizon player than I am, says he's the #1 pro sim drifter. I am the #1 noob keyboard drifter. Alright, very, very, very bad lines. I'm a car that drifts all over the place. I was kind of doing the drift zone just as like a silly thing, like, oh man, if this car drifts around so much, it must be amazing in a drift zone. It sucks at a drift zone too. This car sucks at everything it does, except for drag strip. And to be fair, like, the American cars were kind of built for just straight line speed, not cornering, not amazing handling. That's like that's JDM and European cars. Alright. Alright. 130 points. Alright. Next car, Toyota MR2 Drift Zone. And even if if the Challenger wins in the Drift Zone, that still doesn't count. That's you still wouldn't be like, oh man, gotta give the win to the Challenger. Even if the Toyota MR2 was at 2 points, the Challenger was at 1 point. I'm like, you know what, double the points just for fun. That would still not prove the Challenger's worthiest, because that would honestly prove that all it does is just drifts around. The car that drifts the least in an actual race wins against the car that drifts in an actual race in a freaking drift zone. So in this giant competition of poor man's Ferrari versus boat, in this competition of high horsepower heavy cars versus low horsepower white cars, the low horsepower light car wins. Confirmed to be the new meta. I am sad to say that in Forza Horizon 5, I am going to be turning into a JDM fanboy, playing as MR2s and Honda S2000s, and I'm probably gonna end up using a Miata sometime in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to like and subscribe. And as always, I will be coming out with more videos later. So see you in the next video. Bye.